Is she okay? No. Pile of shame, Dusty Boys. Hello everyone, my name is Annika and welcome to my channel where I post a bunch of videos of my travel and my hiking and a lot about books. I work at a bookstore one day a week here in Montana. I've always been a big reader. I have posted a few videos on this channel about the books that I'm reading, and it's been about a year since the last time that I did it. My mom came across a few of my videos and kind of reminded me that I like making videos about books. Plus, I just watched Carrie Cakes or Carrie Can Read, and she just had her last video of like, just put yourself out there. Talk about books. There's no way of knowing how life can change, and the book community is really wonderful. And I've known that for a really long time, but I'd like to be more part of it. So thank you. And we're gonna start off with my biggest shame, which is my stack of books. Because these are all the books. Oh, sorry. Not all the books. These are all of the books that I'm in the middle of. Let me show you. Okay. Is she okay? No. I don't know what the problem has been. Oh my goodness. I don't know what the problem's been, but I have had a really tough time in finishing books. I'm usually in the middle of a few books, but for whatever reason, I have just been in the weirdest reading funk for the last few years. Some of these are a lot older, and I just would like to get through them. So let's start with what I'm currently reading. This is the one that I keep picking up, and baby, we back. The Zodiac Academy. If you've seen any of my other videos I've talked about before, I was obsessed with them, and I got into the middle of the 5th book, actually to the end of the 5th book. Like there was literally like 3 chapters left, and I was so into the series, I was enjoying it so much, and then I just stopped. And I don't know what was happening. I don't know when I really stopped it and for why. I went to go pick it up to finish it, and I just realized there was so much that I didn't remember what was happening, and it was so complicated, and it was the end of the 5th book. I ended up putting it aside and picking up the 1st book and getting right back into it, and it is itching that spot right now. It feels very escapism, which I think is something that I'm needing at the moment. It's very junk food, but they put something in that is addicting. Like I just want to keep picking it up. So I finished the 1st book like last week, and I'm on to the 2nd. We're almost halfway through. So 2nd, and then I'll keep going with the 3rd, 4th, and then finally finish out the series. There's like 10 books in this series, and then there's like many other series. So it'd be fun to get into. But this is my 1st book that we're reading right now. Next that we have that I'm in the middle of is When the Tides Held the Moon. This is a early 19th century New York City and Coney Island book, standalone, about a Puerto Rican metalsmith and then a merman. It follows a whole band of circus freaks that work at Coney Island, and then they get the new merman as their new sideshow. I love the illustrations. There's something so nice about reading right? The author does the illustrations too. Nobody says things simply. Everything is some sort of old-timey term, and it's really fun. Like, it's definitely a certain characterization and a certain vibe, but it is a little over the top, and so sometimes it's really hard for me to just fall into because it feels camp. I mean, it's just camp, really. Like, that's the best way to describe it. Beautifully done. The love story is really lovely. I'm really enjoying getting to know the characters, but I don't know. It's been taking me a little bit of time to get through it, but that's most of the books right now. Next, Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I borrowed this from a coworker, which already made me feel so bad because I know that I've been going through a hard time with finishing books. That's okay, because they ended up letting me keep this one as they found a 1st edition at a yard sale. So they were like, that one's cool, but not as cool as what I got. And I'm like, that's fine. I've read Cujo and I've read Carrie, and then I've read his book On Writing. On Writing was like 2 years ago, and every other one was in high school. Reading this made me remember how great of a writer he really is. I love his similes. He has like a good beat and a flow to it that I really enjoy. Definitely gets the spine tingling with his horror. I got to a certain point and then I just stopped. I don't know. That's what's gonna happen with all of these, most of these. Some of them I definitely have reasons why I paused on them, but enjoyed this, would love to get back to it. So, Pet Sematary. Next one, I know exactly why I stopped reading it. And I remember kind of right when I stopped reading it too. And that is On Tyranny. This is by Timothy Snyder. It is 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. I think I was reading this right before the election 2 Novembers ago. This was a little too frightening. And I think it's important to be reading and it's important to have and to share. But we're at a certain point where reading this makes me panic. 10th lesson, believe in truth. To abandon facts is to abandon freedom. If nothing is true, then no one can criticize power because there is no basis upon which to do so. If nothing is true, then all is spectacle. The biggest wallet pays for the most blinding lights. And if that doesn't hit home to you, maybe you should read this. And it's not that bad. I would like to finish that. I think I'm just scared. So there you go. That's that. Then let's put on the cover again. Maybe put the dust jacket on the dusty books. No? We got Stephen Graham Jones. It is The Buffalo Hunter Hunter. This is his newest, most recent book. This takes place in Montana. Brings us back a lot to characters around Glacier and the Blackfeet. It's also vampires. My book club read this one in October. We started off the month with Carmilla, which is considered like the original vampire story. And so we read the original, the classic, and this is one of the more modern takes. I got not even super far, and then life took over. I'm really enjoying it though. I'm excited to get back to this one. We'll get to it eventually. Then, where is your dust cover? Ooh. Dusty. Next book we got is Maggie Steve Otter's The Listeners. This is Maggie's adult debut. Maggie wrote some of my favorite books. The Raven Boy Cycle, which you may have heard about. There's 4 books in that. The Shiver series, which is a werewolf YA. Scorpio Races, which is one of my favorite books. Really enjoy Maggie Steve Otter. I love her writing. She's such a cool person. She's so talented. This was one that I really wanted to get, and we can actually see that I got it signed. Maggie! Love your books. This is her debut adult novel. She brings us back to the West Virginia mountains. It is wintertime. Pearl Harbor has just happened. They are entering World War II, and our main character is the manager of this fancy luxury hotel in West Virginia. What happens if this luxury spa ends up being taken over by Japanese and German diplomats? Here's this small town, Appalachia. A lot of the employees are mountain people, and a lot of the males that are strong enough and young enough to go off to war are being sent to war as they cater to these very important, possibly very evil people. This is a magic realism book, so there isn't a huge amount of fantasy, but the waters that come through this hotel has magical abilities for healing and for growth. There's so much going on in this book, but I feel like it's done super well. She weaves it together so beautifully. It feels magical, but you can understand the sort of pain that everyone's going through in their own different ways. I'm obviously enjoying it. I got to this point and then stopped. I don't know, okay? Stop asking. Next, you might have seen this one. This one is Inciting Joy by Ross Gay. I got this one last year and was reading it for a book club and then just not that far. These are essays. They've been really fun to go through. He's a very, how do I say this? He writes in a way that is just stream of consciousness, very tangential. It feels like we're talking about a completely different subject, but then he does bring it back. He breaks a lot of rules when it comes to writing, but in a way that I believe shows his skill with writing. These are just essays. This will probably end up being one of those books that I just slowly get through because I like taking time with it, taking a story and digesting it before moving on to the next one. But it's obviously been a little bit longer and I've digested a lot. We can get back to this one. Then we have Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. I want to take my time with this one. I want to pick it up when I really feel like it. It has so much beauty to each chapter. It makes us rethink about the way that we treat the world around us. I love this book and I haven't even really finished it. And yeah, I did get some gunk on the really pretty version. We sell this book a lot at our bookstore. I highly recommend. It's such a wonderful gift. It is in essays, so I take some time to get to read it. This I would like to keep on my bedside and I almost wish it would just last forever. So we're working through this one. Then this one I'm thinking of rereading. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the first book in a series. The second book should be coming out this year, I believe. I don't know when. I'll double check. This was released forever ago. I remember taking pictures of it because I thought it was so cool and it looked really great. And that was like 5 years ago. Maybe not, but I will be going back to this. But I think I'm going to restart so I can enjoy the second book a little bit more. So we're going to do it. We're taking out the bookmark. And we're just going to start over and put it back on the shelf. Okay. Anyways, then Dusty I'm Sorry books. This one I've been reading for quite some time. I don't know. I think maybe too real sometimes. Again, in a world that feels a little too scary all the time. Why are we bringing up more shitty things that people do? Under the Banner of Heaven. This is Jon Krakauer. I love Jon Krakauer. I love his books. I've read many of his books, but not all. So I need to do this one. I want to read Missoula. In God's Country, I think, is one of them too. Anyways, there's a few more that I want to read, but this one has educated me a lot on Mormons. We're in the middle of this one too. We're getting to the end, kind of. Not close enough. This one, I feel shame. This one, I had a hard time getting through. And I don't know if it was entirely just like where I was at with my life, or it was just also the kind of letdown. But we're talking about The House of Flame and Shadow. This is the third book in the Crescent City series. And you may know Sarah J. Maas for her Court of Thorns and Roses series, as well as The Throne of Glass. I enjoyed the first two books. I think this started feeling, and it's a chunky boy. I do like the type on this. The font is really nice. This one was highly anticipated as this is the first book that starts kind of intermingling our series. And I just felt like Sarah J. Maas just took on a little bit more than she could chew. We love Sarah J. Maas. I love the Throne of Glass series so much. I still recommend Court of Thorns and Roses to a lot of new fantasy people or just new readers in general. It is good stuff. We get addicted to it. I was not enjoying this one. I will probably have to reread this one as we just discovered that Sarah J. Maas is coming out with Court of Thorns and Roses 6 and 7. I'm sure there's going to be more flow between the series. Need to reread this one so I can keep up to date, but maybe I'll do it closer to that October time. Then, haha, this is a book that I did not finish and I have no intention of finishing. I did not enjoy it, and that is Phantasma. Phantasma feels like a complete ripoff of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. Caraval for horny people. We're like jumping from one scene to another just to get to the spicy scenes. And if you liked it, that's great. I'm happy for you. I feel like I wasted my money. I can let this be a book that I was disappointed by and that was not for me. And I can focus on all the other books that I do want to get back to. So, goodbye. And last book, and of course I want to get into this one again, and that is Robert Jordan's The Eye of the World. This is the first book in the Wheel of Time series. It is a long epic fantasy and I was loving it. I think it's so fun. It definitely gives me that fantasy itch that Lord of the Rings does. And this is also a series that my best friend in high school was obsessed with. She was reading Robert Jordan all the time. I remember there's one time we sat down to do an English project and the project was to pick an author and kind of do a whole book report on them, like talk about the books, talk about the series, talk about the author himself. We sat down and Una goes to look up Robert Jordan and she's like, wait, what? It says he's dead. And it was like 2 days after he had died. And she found out that her favorite author had passed away. And if you don't know anything about Robert Jordan, he did create the Wheel of Time series, but he also understood that he was sick. He planned out the whole series and told his wife about everything. I believe he assigned the author that would take over the series already, or there was like discussions about it. And who did that end up being but Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson, who had already been making a lot of really wonderful books, a lot of big fantasy books, was then tapped on the shoulder to complete the Robert Jordan series, Wheel of Time. I've been wanting to read this series for so many years. My dad's a huge fan. My brother read through it too. It is one of those series that is just like on my shoulder all the time. I should be reading them. Last year, right before the year started, the whole goal was to finish the entire series of the Wheel of Time. And I had like sectioned out all of the books. How many pages do I have to read per day, per week? I got it all figured out. And then I was able to get some time off. Not get some time off. I had a concussion. And even though I was at home doing nothing but reading, I still couldn't keep up to date with the schedule that I had set myself. And I just realized very quickly that this huge goal that I had to finish the entire series in 1 year, I just don't read that fast. Anyways, I got to like this point and haven't picked it up again. It is still a series that I would like to get into, but I was enjoying it. I did really like it. I love a good adventure. So these are the books that I'm in the middle of. And maybe the goal will be to finish a book after every time I finish one of these babies, just so that I can space it out and still have my fix. We are gonna get through it. I think the goal needs to be that I need to stop buying books and then just finish the books I'm in the middle of. Thank you for joining me in today's book video. I hope you found some books that interest you and that you can start and finish, unlike me. I'll come back with another spring haul and hopefully finish some books, keep you updated on the list. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books. 11 books that I'm in the middle of right now. Goodbye. See you later. Look, also, look how cute that bookmark is. Oh, so cute. Sorry, easily distracted.